So really how I'll start off is just, in general, how people should really go about conspiracies and just talk about a number of conspiracies. Anything from, JFK, the moon landing, anything as far as the earth being really flat, the AIDS epidemic, 9/11 terrorist attack, from Barack Obama being secretly a Muslim. So, it goes out there pretty far. And from that point of view, we can really talk about, a rabbit hole, which, going in too far to these, really start falling into rabbit holes where it leads you into one thing and then another, and never really get anywhere. And it just always come up with the same, topic and the same consumption that you started off with. So it really, you come up to like a dead end, really. And that's the same problem with these, the flat earthers. There's like such this need to be right and for everyone else to be wrong that they just never hold back on the earth being round. And we've known that the earth has been round since something along the lines of like 300 BC, so this isn't like it's something new to us. And at that point, that's where I'm going to go back to the, the rabbit hole. And if you're just kind of like digging on these conspiracies, that's really all you're going to find yourself in. It's just a bunch of rabbit holes, a bunch of loop arounds, and really just like that, you're never really going to get anywhere with it. And that can be because either it's like real or it's not real, where their side is pointing towards, or it could be because they were really good with covering up the conspiracy, and what really went down. So, with that, it's really a toss-up about how you go about these things, because everyone has their own, knowledge, things they've heard, things they believe, because the world we live in today, there's so much out there and things you can read, and just there's so much knowledge, like things you can just pick up. You can go online and read about anything, learn about anything, especially on the stuff you're reading. It might not even be true to that matter. For instance, the government, there's countless of times they've probably lied and, misinterpreted something on purpose. And for that matter, it might have been for our own good. Because I'm sure there's a lot they're not telling us that they know, of course, which is honestly totally understandable to some degree. And when you go into these things, it's important to never be biased. Like, a lot of times I'll figure, I want the conspiracy to be real. It is exciting, to think, oh my gosh, they're not telling us this and that. But it's really important to have an open mind to everything, so you gotta look at, the bad and good. And that's just for stuff that supports the other side. Like, if you're shorting towards one side, you gotta look at all that other side and, their facts and all this. Because once you kind of point to one side, that's all you can see. And once you, want something to be true, that's all you're gonna focus towards. And that's never the right way to go about these things. Because that's kind of what the problem is with the flat earthers. They are so developed into this, one fact, into this, method. That's all they can see. People tell them this, but they're just like, nope, skip that, and they just keep going towards it. Like the flat earthers, they really can't be stopped. And that's what we want to stay away from, is because, they are so pointed towards this one fact that's really, a lot of evidence really isn't pointing towards it being true. So it's almost scary, in a sense, that it's not true. So that's really what I take away from all this, is just how about you should go on conspiracies and just, keep in mind that they're all, not necessarily a myth, but they're all not really factual, and they're all just probably for the most part really made up. And a lot of things can come up to be coincidences, and that's kind of, I guess, how a lot of these conspiracies start. Things kind of don't add up on one end, but it adds up on the other end. And that's when people really get confused. When, all these points are being told and just something's not adding up, and then someone goes about this conspiracy, and the next thing you know, there's a conspiracy, and there's all this stuff is going on, being talked about. And that's when really people get sold. And that's another thing with all this information. You can watch a 10-minute video on, flat earth conspiracy, true, and it tells you all these things. And that's the majority of these people that we're talking about.